All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Vulnerable. Joel, how you doing?
I'm good.
Feeling okay?
Yeah.
Survived country
I
concert
survived country concert. Yeah.
in
I mean, it was a good time.
Fort
Good time.
Laramie, Ohio.
Yep, Fort Laramie, Ohio. That was year 8 for us, I think. Year 8 in a row.
I was shocked to realize it was year 44.
Yes, next year's 45. I saw them
Yeah.
announced.
What do you think they're going to do in 50? I bet it's going to be big.
Oh, 50 will be big.
It's going to be huge.
50 will be big.
If anybody that doesn't know what country concert is, look it up. You'll be impressed. You'll be impressed. Chris, can you turn my headphones up just a touch? So, Joel, what did you do today? I saw some videos you went out, and I actually wanted to ask you specifically about, we've talked about screening in the past, and so the property that Chris and I hunt, we have a fence, okay? And in the years past, I've talked about I want them to come out in a certain point. And like I told my dad as well that I thought about putting up my own fence to force them to a certain area. And like you kind of did something, you do something like that.
Yeah, do that all the time.
I mean, how do you pick? How do you make that? I mean, can it ever be a negative and a positive? I mean, do you ever do it and you're like, wow, they don't even. You frustrated them so much, or they don't want to enter that certain point, or is it?
I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm doing them right now. I'll give them plenty of time to get used to it, and they'll go through there.
So, I mean, explain a little bit of why you're doing it or what you're doing. Exactly.
Just trying to, the flow of the deer is from this point to this point, and they'll come. Those lots of times if I don't have a whole lot of shadow or a bunch of elevated permanent blinds, but I have some, just for customers and that are kind of ladder stand guys and kind of people that don't feel comfortable in lock-ons, and just try to make it so they don't come out at 100 yards and 150 yards. And a lot of the farms around here have old fences and then they get holes in them or whatever, and once in every 4 they might come out where you want them to, but lots of times they're at 75 yards or 80 yards or 120 yards on this crossover, and just kind of steering them to where you want to go.
So, I mean, a deer's going to take the path of least resistance, or they're just...
Yep.
Is there any truth to like a secondary path versus a main path? I mean, does a mature buck always, does he ever take his own path through certain times of the year?
Usually when you look in through some timber or thicket or whatever, and they're usually the path less, they're not on the beat down one. They're on the little secondaries or.
Because I don't know if that's a real thing or not. I mean, I'm like you just said, they take the secondary path.
I guess it depends upon if it is, if you're hunting them the end of September or in October, or if it's the rut, he probably don't give a crap.
Right. Right.
So if it's right frame of mind and everything.
Yep. And you were doing that with hog panels?
So, yes. Yep. I just had some hog panels, and hog panels are relatively cheap. 16-footers are like $20, and just kind of, if it's only a little opening, I'll just cut one to 6 feet or 8 feet or whatever, and kind of hold them up a little bit, just to get them, because try to eliminate them from jumping, and just kind of start plugging all the holes up.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting. So you're not going down through the entire fence. You're just looking for where they're crossing and where you don't want them crossing.
And then that's not saying that they don't start
find another
spot or whatever. Yeah. But for the most part, it'll work.
I saw a guy on the internet that was going through and taking his edges, and he was kind of doing what you're talking about, only with cutting trees down, developing edges, and
we'll show that, or we'll do some little clips on that later. I do a lot of that.
A lot of that.
There will be sets where I will be just off the road, but yet if I might be 20 yards off the road, so that way my scent's blowing over the road, but they will want to cross between that tree and the road.
What do you mean? Sorry.
Like the deer will want to, you think that 20 yards that you're golden or whatever, but there will be every deer you see, they will want to, first doe group comes and they will want to go between the tree and the road downwind of you.
Gotcha.
So in situations like that, I do a lot of that. Just drop some little trees, or if I'm out front cutting, I'll drag all that back and just kind of plug off from the tree to the road.
Yeah.
Just make it so they can't get through.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost creating. I mean, I always wondered about that. Like, if you have people have four-wheeler paths or railroad tracks, or, I mean, is that something that is that too obnoxious? Is that too wide? Like, I mean, we used to hunt a property as kids, and there was a bunch of four-wheeler paths and literally a railroad track, and all the deer stands. I mean, I'm 10, 12 years old hunting with older people. All the deer stands were on those paths because most of it was kind of thicker area.
Yeah,
that's not good.
No,
that's not good.
I mean, that's not.
So,
yeah. I mean, and
say it, because I think a lot of guys create those paths, and a lot of guys hunt those paths. So I mean, tell your opinion about that.
I mean, in my opinion, that the bucks you're trying to shoot probably aren't
walking down the middle of the
paths.
path.
Yeah, I mean, now with that said, I mean, if guys you see where people have switchgrass or they have more natural type stuff, and you bush hog trails through them, they're going to walk those bush hog trails and everything. But if you have a well-used four-wheeler track and everything through
they're not about it.
Yeah, I don't know if they're about that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I have that one property because of the tornado right next to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've told you it's so thick that you can't. You're going to have to climb and whatever. But we talked about kind of skinnying out my own
So
path.
basically, it's interesting because that happened behind my father-in-law's house, where half that woods was wiped out by that tornado.
Yep.
And it's interesting to go in there and see how they created their paths and what they do, and because they're not really going over trees that are down. They're kind of
they're moseying through,
making their way, and
they're not going a straight.
They're not going a straight path now through that thing.
Yeah.
As straight as they can get.
So I mean, in a perfect world, I mean, a deer does want to, if they want to go from bedding to food, from food to water, food or water to bed, they do want to take somewhat the easiest path of
with the wind, with the wind in their favor
and cover. I mean, they want to have a little bit of cover.
Yeah, wind and cover, especially a buck. He wants to be somewhat feel hidden when he's going from point A to point B.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And then this time of the year, you said you were starting to put in some maybe small ponds, small drinking areas. What is small? How do you do it? I mean, because that's something we've never discussed.
I have, this one that I kind of have scoped out, it's, what I feel is a doe, where there's doe bedding. There's doe bedding, clear over here. So, kind of an area where I know the bucks are going to be cruising from, one doe group to another. Not a lot of water in the area. And it seems like anymore come August and September, and we get dry. And so it's a pond that I think will be, we can hunt it with a good, I can get guys to it with a good wind. I can get close enough with my tank in the back of my truck, and if I got 300 foot of hose or whatever, I can get to it and transfer water to it if I got to fill it. But I have been buying these like 10 by 10 real thick rubber roofing, says Firestone on the when I get the box. I don't go buy the
10 by 10 Firestone, like kind of like a felt
it's
for the
basically a thick rubber roofing.
Okay.
And then I will just kind of I'll just dig out, and I'm basically about probably on the one end I will be knee deep, and then I just kind of then at the other end probably 7 feet or whatever, then I just slowly slope down to it, so that way as the water, so the deer they will walk down on the sloped end, and then because as the water goes down in it, they will walk down it and drink.
Yeah.
And then I'll kind of, it was super dry when I did them last year in August, September. So I basically was like using landscaping clips to tuck my edges in. Raccoons get to it and
What's a
everything.
landscaping clip?
Just a little big horseshoe, wire horseshoe.
Okay.
Kind of beat them in to
Stake it
hold
in.
my edges in. And since then, I've gone in and redid all them. And when the ground was good and wet or whatever, then I kind of tucked all my edges in. But I just kind of, whenever I just dig them with a shovel and.
You dig them 7 feet deep with
No, they're about knee deep.
Didn't he say? Didn't he?
Yeah, I thought you said
About knee deep, 7 foot long.
Oh,
About
oh.
7 foot
Did
long.
you hear 7 feet deep too? I
Sorry,
thought you
about
said
7 feet
I was
long.
like, holy Christ, this guy's
No.
out there digging
About 7 feet long.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So knee deep, and then you're just slanting
And then
it down.
from the knee deep up till, and that 7 feet is coming up till, I know that, so if my tank was, if I have a 250 or 300 gallon tank, it will just about fill it.
Just
so it's
about fill
holding
it.
250 or 300 gallons of water.
Wow. And then like so with that rubber in there or whatever it is, how often are you going back to fill it up? How often is it draining, leaking, or they're drinking it?
So the first ones I built wasn't quite thick enough, and between be it coons or the deer or whatever, they ended up. I went back in a week and there was already holes in it and there was no water in it. So then I went with this thicker. I need to like kind of look up and see exactly how thick it was, millimeter was or whatever. And but I mean, I think they were $80 or $90 for the
Okay.
10 by 10 piece of rubber roofing is what
Yep.
it is, something like that.
And
So
that one piece is enough to do what you're doing.
that
That's
one
the kind
piece
of
is
size.
doing the size that I'm doing.
So it's
Yeah.
7 foot long. It's probably just.
And I'm going to say that it is probably, if it's a 10-foot piece and I'm coming down, it's probably 5 foot wide.
5 foot wide.
So that way I have enough to come up on the sides and
Perfect.
tuck it in.
How long does it take to dig a hole like that?
I mean, when it's rock hard, it took a while.
Yeah.
So I had in this tucked away spot, I had a pond that way back in the day, we went in with a little track hoe and dug it out, and it's been really good over the years. And it got to the point where it was drying up and it was silting. It basically, between leaves and everything, it had silted in and had 2 feet of muck in it and everything. I spent a total of 9 or 10 hours last year and completely
Dug it
cleaned
out.
that thing out.
Yeah.
I did 3 hours one day, 4 hours another day, 3 hours another day. But
So early.
and then but the ones I just built, I mean, I just did them last year, and I went in to tuck them and dig and kind of clean them. And I had a shovel with me, and I bet I got a foot out of that one in 1 year, like a foot of leaves
Yeah.
out
Just
of
a
the
bunch
bottom
of-
of them. So
yeah.
it doesn't take them long to get silted in and everything.
So I mean, of those water holes or ponds, how many? I mean, are you guys taking deer literally off of them? I mean, are you hunting over top of those?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, you're taking deer. I mean, how many deer are you out of your 45, 50
so-
hunters? How many are taking? I mean, is it
I would
is it
say-
early season? No,
The rut.
it's the rut.
Early and the rut. So a buck is, I mean, during the rut, what's he? 8 gallon. We may have to look this up. I'm going to say 8 gallons of water
He's.
wanting to consume a day.
You're kidding. I didn't know that. That's
I mean,
a
we may
lot.
have
I
to
mean, that makes sense.
We
I mean,
may have to blank this out, but they get their water from other things. During the year, they get their water from the foliage and the nuts and everything
Sure.
has water in it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they're running ragged.
So I mean, if it's 60s, if it's so and there's an easy thing to have a camera on. You're just monitoring it.
Why did you want to blank that out? Why did you say
I
that?
don't know if it's 8 gallons.
Oh,
or not. The
maybe it's 8
8 gallon
pounds
part.
or 8 pounds. We'll see. He'll
Yeah.
see what he said. I mean,
Yeah,
to
it
me,
might be 8.
it doesn't seem that far fetched when he's running that hard or whatever.
Yeah.
But it might be 8 pounds, 1
Yeah.
gallon or something.
Yeah.
But he'll answer it.
But
So it's not so much about early season. It's more about rut.
so early it can be good on that
Depending
opener. Yes.
depending on what the year
But
looks
you'll
like.
be. I mean, we will. I knew I had a pond, and it was what, November the teens, the rut or whatever, and basically I think he's in there laying down probably in this wood lot, and it's been a long ass day, and that thing's the first thing he hits when he stands up.
He's coming out to get a little
He's coming to
drink.
that pond before he heads out for another night of chasing.
So I mean, I'm guessing like these properties where you're putting them in, they don't have
Correct.
creeks,
Correct.
ponds.
Places that don't have easily accessible water.
But how far? I mean, if a guy's like, if he thinks he's just going to put one in, it's going to work.
I mean, one that I kill a big deer every year. There is there is a good flowing creek, probably 500 or 600 yards away.
But it's just
he's got to go through open cover to get to that creek.
In his head, he's like, I don't want to go.
Correct. I can be in the cover in this nice little timber here and get a little sip out of this pond. So.
I mean, the property I hunt where I took the deer last year would probably be a great spot to do that because there is no water like at all around there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
there's no water. Like I can't think of. I think there's a pond, and I think I see deer around that pond a lot, but that's in a neighbor's backyard or whatever.
I have places that we hunt the opener on, and all deer in that timber they're flowing that way in the evenings. To the water. They're all heading to water.
I mean, that might be why Mom
All
and Dad's
heading
is
to
so
water.
good because that property up and around the Champaign County area, it completely changed when Mom and Dad put a pond on the property. 3 years ago, the whole property changed, and it just all of a sudden started producing everything. And I mean,
Probably water.
I mean, there is no water other than the creek. What, a half a mile away?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no water around there. So
Did you find something out?
Yeah. Looks like roughly 0.4 to 1.2 gallons per day, depending on weather and activity and food availability.
So not gallons, but pounds. So
Pounds.
8 to 16 pounds
Yeah.
a day. What'd you say? How much?
roughly 0.4 to 1.2 gallons a day.
Okay. So anywhere from 4 to 9 or 10 pounds of water a day. That is a ton of water. I mean, that's
Quite a few glasses.
That's
Yeah.
quite a few glasses.
Yeah. But but especially this time of year, how hot we are and everything, these 80s and 90s, that's all big deer are probably near. They are not far from water
Right.
now.
Right.
They are not far from water. It's cooler there, Creek bottoms are kind of cooler. You can just walk around as an individual and just tell temperature difference as you're walking around.
Sure.
And they find the cool spots and the
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Joel. Is there when you have an opportunity at doing that and you're on a property, do you try to, you said between maybe a couple doe bedding areas or where you think those are, but is there any other kind of location you look? Like, is it in the woods, out of the woods, in the,
So I want it to be that I have a good tree that I feel that they're not coming from behind, they're not coming from behind, that that when they're coming to it, they're not
Sure.
a good tree with
They're not
good
gonna
wind
win, yeah.
direction and everything. And then I need to be able to get it. I need to be able to get it filled. I got to be able to get water to it. So, which around here really isn't that big of a deal. The thing is, whenever I built those ones, some of them were surrounded by corn and so I kind of had to wait for some crops to start being ran to get them filled. But no, that's just another good trick for killing.
That's a great tip. That's fantastic.
Bucks.
I mean, that's something I
You know,
genuinely didn't.
People are going to say about the I really haven't had no issue with EHD and mud or nothing. Basically, I have that rubber liner, and there isn't mud. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they seem very comfortable walking down it. Um, you know, I'll let you know on this will be going into year 3 on them and stuff. I'll let you know on how how long it lasts and everything
What do you mean? How long? What lasts?
without holes being punctured in it or whatever. So
Yeah.
the coons are the worst.
What do they do when
The
they?
coons like chew the rubber and shit on the
Gotcha.
edges.
Yeah. As it's becoming more and more exposed, they probably
Yes,
chew
they
down
chew
further
lower
and
and down
further.
lower.
Yeah.
Yes, little bastards.
Yeah. So so this is kind of going to be the latest year. I have a, maybe this is more for Ohio people, but something I was thinking about the other day was the crops are going to be late this year.
Yeah, crops are going to be.
They're going to be late.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time in, I could say 10 or 15 years that I haven't known. I still see corn waist high.
Yeah.
And I mean,
There
usually,
are very few tasseled fields,
Yeah.
and there's usually already shoulder tasseled by
I mean,
our 4th of
normally,
July.
yeah, normally everything 90%, 80% is tasseled already.
Yeah,
So,
we'll be hung into November unless it turns like last year where it doesn't rain for 30 days in August and
Right.
it just cooks it or whatever. But if that doesn't happen, crops are going to be.
So I know that guys and then like farmers have 128 day, 115 day. I mean, they probably adjusted things a little bit, but like, I mean, you're only talking about 10, 15 days on their seeds, right? So, I mean, they might cut off a few weeks or a couple weeks off, but it's going to push in the.
Yeah, they were pushing whatever the insurance day was. They were pushing that this year, getting the seeds in the ground.
So is that how much does that affect what you do, your business?
I mean, it's as the rut starts approaching and the does are starting to be ran and messed with, and that's the problem. Them does, it's shelter and cover for does, so they head out in the corn, and then the bucks head out in the corn.
Big
so
CRP fields.
It can make it tough.
Yeah.
It can make the rut tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you just kind of, when that happens, you just, I lots of times will check out the cornfields, the perimeters. You will find serious highways coming in and out of standing cornfields and stuff. And if you can pick up on the areas, before when all the corn's gone, your doe bedding and you're hunting in between. Now you might have to change it up on where the bucks are now going in and out of the corn or what have you. So
I mean, you're literally parked out. You could be camped at the end of
you could be camped right on the edge of a cornfield.
Because they're coming from here to there.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting. Have you ever had any success with like farmer in your past, and you can talk about the last 25 years. Have you ever had any success with farmers like taking out, one row for you or doing anything in the corn that has helped you at all?
I love it if a cornfield gets, a quarter picked or a half picked, like if I have timber and you have timber and it gets, kind of L-shaped picked, then a little rain sets in and they can't get to it for a few days, or they might pull up and move to something different, and you can bet that I'm probably going to have a blind brushed in
right on the corn,
right in the standing corn.
Right in the standing corn.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Had some good hunts. Had some really good hunts doing that.
Just they're eating. They're coming out of the corn. They're
Correct.
coming out of the woods.
There's a freshly picked cornfield, and they're just
right
on it, and yeah.
Right. So I want to jump to another subject that I hear a lot, and it's kind of a curveball. But what's your opinion on crossbows?
My opinion on crossbows?
Yeah. What's your opinion on crossbow hunting? I hear it so much, Chris. Yeah. So I mean, just overall, ethically, should it have its own season? Do you enjoy crossbows? Do you think crossbows should be used?
We were probably one of the first crossbow states. We were the 70s, I would say, and it gets more people afield during archery season that that wouldn't be, that wouldn't be hunting. I mean, there's people that, that might not take the time to be efficient with a bow and have all the time to practice. They're busy, have busy jobs, and maybe a crossbow is a way for them to get in the field more. But the problem with them is people feel they have a gun in their hand, and shots are taken that wouldn't be taken with a bow in your hand.
Do you think that crossbows should have their own I mean, you don't seem to. I'm asking this. Do you have a strong opinion on them?
I don't have a strong opinion.
You don't.
I don't think they have to have their own season. I mean,
because there's guys out there that are like completely anti. Don't let crossbows and compounds aren't even in the same conversation. I mean, that is a huge topic online. I mean, they don't want anybody. If you're using a crossbow,
them are just people that are diehard.
I mean,
die-hard compound hunters.
I mean, do you not? You have none of that feeling or sense among. I mean, I'm not. I don't. No. Everybody believes now. There's always that. Everybody always says Everybody always says if you're older or if you're a kid, you can use a crossbow. But they're saying if you're an able body, you should not be using crossbows.
I mean, who says that? See, I don't pay no attention to social media.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
asking.
I'm asking if
I
that fits your
50% of the people that roll in here
use crossbows.
Have crossbows.
Yeah,
they're older gentlemen, be it or whatever. I mean, I still have a lot of compound hunters and everything. I mean, if you were on your own and hunting, you still have to do the work to be able to kill that deer with whatever the fuck you got in your hands. Do you not agree?
I completely agree.
So, if I walk in and I see a big deer on your hand or a big deer hanging on your wall, I'm not going to ask you if it was a recurve or a compound or a crossbow.
Or a shotgun,
or
a rifle,
whatever.
Or a muzzleloader.
I might ask if it was a rifle in the state.
Well, don't we have like straight wall cards?
We do. We
whatever
cards,
they call it. But that was my point to that question. I just want to know your honest opinion because, once again, I know you're not online, but isn't it one of the biggest controversial topics online?
Oh yeah, it's huge.
It's a constant. People want to degrade people. They want to, and so I said, so what's better? So let's do an order of things here. We have a recurve, then we have a compound, then we have a crossbow, and then we have a shotgun, and then we have a rifle, then we have a muzzleloader. So I said...
So a recurve or longbow person might think that the compound bow doesn't belong hunting with them.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. So where do you stop it? So I kind of get tired. I just wanted to hear your opinion. Yeah. I wasn't trying to get...
I'm not, argumentative about it or whatever. I just think that... kind of the key and the point is to get out there and enjoy the outdoors and hunt, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
Yes. Yeah. And be it whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're, my father-in-law, he has his turned down to about 50 pounds and still enjoys his crossbow or still enjoys his compound. But there's a time or two that he will go with his crossbow if he thinks it's going to be, if it's too cold and he don't think he can get it pulled back or whatever. So we're going to tell my father-in-law, I'm sorry, you can't go. It's not your season right now.
Right. I think it's more directed towards like people like me. I've killed deer with crossbows and compounds. And so if I don't put in the effort or if I don't have the time to put in the effort, and that's a genuine statement, I don't have the time to put in the effort towards it.
Is it, it does take a little bit more practice and everything to go afield with a compound bow and feel good about it. I guess also what's more ethical for the animal coming from that person.
Right.
There's definitely, I have people that I feel better about them hunting my deer with a crossbow than I would with a compound.
Sure.
And then I just drill to them on, don't take the kind of shot I want them to take with that crossbow.
Right.
So,
yep.
Because there's a lot of crossbows out there that are, kind of expand the range a little bit.
Yeah,
that's
they
for
do.
Sure. But,
yeah.
penetrating power and all that, yeah, I mean, I like the setup. I like a compound setup and everything as far as the grains of arrow going at the animal. So,
Yeah, good.
but
Just a general question. I mean, we've never discussed it. I think
no,
that
we
we've
haven't. I mean,
we've talked about
and
it.
I mean, over the years, I have seen it gone from if there's if there back in the day, if there was 5 people in a camp, there'd be one crossbow, and now it's 50-50 or probably more leaning towards the. I mean, it depends upon the camp. A lot of the rut camps, everybody, a lot of compound people and stuff, but and then everybody talks about this is the best bow, that's the best compound, that's the best bow. But, so once
Right.
again, all personal.
Yeah.
I mean, just be good at whatever you go afield with.
Sure.
Just be confident with it and be good with it, and yeah. So
Yeah, I agree. The next question I had for you, I just want to hit some hard topics
Yeah.
here. We briefly discussed it at
that was a good one. We have not talked about it.
yeah.
Talked about that.
I'm going to ask you another one here.
Okay.
Country concert, we discussed it a little bit.
Yep.
Pushing deer.
Okay.
So I love. I'm just kind of hitting him with these. So I mean, do you not want to be hit with it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So what do you think about pushing deer and
I mean, it's never
when it comes to gun season
it's
and
never been a part of my world, because why would I want to have a deer that is on my land be ran to another property?
right.
So thus, it's never been. So I guess I'm all for it if my people are sitting on stand. So basically, we gun hunt just like we bow hunt, but you have a gun in your hand.
Sure.
So I mean, I'm all for the people that want to do deer drives and run deer into my land. So because my properties fill up through the.
So you're
through the
saying
day.
you're saying those deer don't those deer once they're pushed out, they're not coming back.
That's correct. There, I usually got them once they get to me. So keep pushing. Keep pushing.
You also said something about like wanky legs and getting shot up. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they're shooting. If it's brown, it's down.
Now, if you push, because there are lots of people around here that big farming groups and everything that's what they did. They sit till 9 a.m. and then they start pushing. Just somebody pulling out my driveway. I don't know who. Now, if you've hunted this farm forever, and if a deer is bumped out of here, that he's probably gone, their exit routes. So if you set up, I like it if you set up 100, 200 yards away from their exit routes, and but as far as just nice and tight and
No. Explain a little bit further what you're just talking about.
I mean, I think a controlled. I'd rather call it a bump or whatever.
Yeah, you're saying
letting the deer get your wind. Not making noise and 20 people driving. I think that's enters danger levels of slugs flying but I'm saying like a controlled bump is.
What is a controlled bump? You really haven't explained.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm saying, so if you're, if it's a 50-acre piece and however many people you think it takes to, and if where like I said, a big buck, he might let everybody get up and go out the back door or whatever. So if you.
What do you think the proper way, if somebody was going to push, what do you consider the proper way to push? I mean, like, is it like, and I'm asking strategically. No? You don't care?
I mean, I've never given it a whole lot of thought because we don't do it. So,
okay.
But I mean, yeah, if there is a big deer there, and I think your best chance is to have and you want to get him up is to have your shooters be at a distance away where you think the escape routes are.
Yeah, you're saying if you know a property is the only way that you would ever give a little If you knew a property, it doesn't sound like you've ever done it, but you're saying,
No.
if I knew my property,
I mean, I know my property. I mean, I know my properties, and I know if we bump one, where they're going to go.
And you
Good
guys have never
chance,
done
but
that.
No. Why would I run a deer off of my land?
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Don't
Because
don't shoot the messenger for asking the
because the
question.
odds of it working out are not real good. So thus he leaves, and then you're not getting them at all. So
Yep, I agree. I'm just asking the question. So
Yeah.
you guys have never gotten in a situation during gun season, you're trying to make something happen. You
No.
just sit the stands, you get out of the stands just like you're bow hunting.
Yep, correct.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Love it.
No pushing.
No pushing.
No pushing.
Let's take a break. All right. So we're back. So
I forgot something while we were
about what?
whenever we take a little break and come back, and then I'm like, you know, so
It hits you?
yeah, it hits me. So back to the crossbow thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
Back to the crossbow thing.
You know, by the way, I've used a crossbow for the
I
last.
know, and so I've used one. I had shoulder surgery, and I hadn't shot my bow in
Yep.
a long time, and I hadn't really hunted in 8
Yeah.
or 9 years, and but it just seems like in a rut situation where the deer is going to be probably moving, or you're going to have to stop him, or you're going to have to, the yardage is kind of, when you're looking through a scope, is he at this yardage marker, this yardage marker? I really didn't like this whole scope thing. I don't know. I just think it's easier rut hunting with a compound, in my opinion. So, just as far as, we've talked about how anal about going over your perimeter and your yardage and everything, and that's kind of unknown if something's moving and you're trying to pick it up through a scope.
Right.
Do you follow me?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
versus if he's in full view with your compound, and you know exactly where he is, and then if I've got my pin set at 30 or 35, and I know I can hold high, hold low, and then the other thing I don't like is everyone now rolls in here with these scopes with all of this ranging bullshit on it.
Push one button, put it on, little red dot, and it changes it from
Or does it
whatever
automatically
it does.
or
It all.
whatever. I mean, so did you hit that tree as he's going by? How do you I don't know. I just think that part of it has gone a little bit too far.
Yeah, it has.
I just think know your yardage and pick your pin.
I have the last 3 years, and my excuse was, and it was a legitimate excuse. I was busy. I've been very busy in life, and I told my wife, I said, if I don't have the time and effort to put into the compound, I'm not going to hunt with it. But I don't use my Raven past 40 yards. I will not take a shot past actually 35.
Yeah.
So I feel
it's definitely, and the problem with the crossbow, it seems like if that arrow is not laying there on the other, if you do not get a pass through and that thing's forward or whatever, just don't seem like we find them things.
I feel like it's different. You're right, because I've had just to be clear, I did hunt compound all the way up until 3 years ago. It'd be 4 years ago from now, but it'd be my fourth season. I bought a new compound, right? Getting back in the compound.
Yep.
Because I said the excuse doesn't work anymore. I just feel like I can't use it anymore. But I will tell you, those crossbows are fun to shoot. They are fun to shoot. I love them, and I have put field tips on them, and I have shot, and this is not an exaggeration. I took a video and showed Chris, kept the video rolling. At 103 yards, I did field tips. 1 1/4 inch, 2 inches. It was something like that. Now that's a field tip, but I shoot under 35 yards. I just refuse to, because exactly like you said, if you don't get the shot, or the penetration isn't there. There's something about compounds and crossbows that it just doesn't equal finding dead deer. Because I feel like I've had worse shots with a compound, but found the deer. I don't know why that is,
better.
or
Better penetration.
is that what
you
it
do
is?
Get better penetration. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've had back in the day, somebody 40 yards, or that might not be true today, but it just seems like, and I think it was like a liver shot or whatever, and it wasn't even a pass through.
Right.
Just not enough oomph when they get out there.
Yeah, I mean,
but today's are pretty. I now have to have 500 feet per second targets or whatever, or the freaking guys are having to look for their arrows blowing through them and everything.
Right.
I mean,
Right. I don't feel like they're. I don't know what it is, and maybe somebody's going to call me an idiot on here. I don't feel like the target blowing through the target equals blowing through a deer. I don't know why that. I mean, do you think that there's something like if you take a compound bow that has,
regardless the amount of kinetic energy it has, with if it's only 300 and some grains versus your 500 and some grain archery set, you're just not going to have enough.
That's right. I guess my point is like if a compound says it's like 360 kinetic energy and the crossbow's 410, I don't feel like those numbers equal the same. I still feel like I mean, maybe that's a stupid comment or whatever, but whatever.
But yeah, that's pretty much.
I feel like it does get a little out of control when you start doing things that, because like
I'm a keep it simple person. So, I mean, and whenever everybody rolls in with all that stuff, that is not a keep it simple. They got the buttons down here on the thing, and it automatically ranges, and it. Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna like piss off your hunters by saying all this right now.
No, I mean to each their own, or hopefully they all show up without them, and now
they take them all. We're going to Joel's house. We'll take this off. But I mean, all the steps that you talked about in the earlier episodes with range finding, and I don't give up those techniques using a crossbow. I still follow my paths. I still stand in this. I still do the things that, I've said this off camera. I've never said it on camera. I think, people think that I don't hunt or I don't kill deer sometimes because of the questions I ask, but I do. And I do follow what you're talking about and saying.
Yeah.
I still range find. I still don't, rely on what's happening in the moment. I try to analyze everything that's happening in front of me, right? Just because you're using a crossbow doesn't mean that you're fucking bulletproof.
Yes.
Right?
No.
Put my $5 in the, in the thing because it, I also will say if a big deer comes in front of me, I want it fucking dead. Like I want it in my hands, right?
That's the way you got to be.
I mean, that's what I want.
The way you got to be.
Especially when it comes down to the moment, like you said, you want it to be comfortable. You want to be comfortable. You want to make a good shot. You want to be ethical and whatever it takes to do that. I think there's a lot of, I've noticed something in the last like 5, 6, 7 years is that there's not a lot of pictures anymore with the bows on the deer. And I'll say it again. There's not a lot of pictures with the bows on the deer. And I think because a lot of people are going to.
I don't notice that. Or I don't.
You don't.
I don't. I mean,
do you remember? Do you remember when everybody used to lay their bows on the deer, and because it was kind of a statement? Nobody does that anymore. Because I don't see it as often. I feel like it's just not something that people are doing because they're not saying, or it's not as
public.
Yeah, it's not as prevalent, or people don't want to be asked about it. I mean, I'll talk about it all day because
Guess that could be a point.
You kill nice deer, but like I don't see the bows just laying across the deer a bragging point.
So you're saying if it was killed with a crossbow, the person didn't lay the bow across it, but if it was killed with a compound, the person laid a bow across it.
That's exactly right, and I'm seeing a lot less compounds laid across deer. What was it? Did I not say it?
Yeah, I mean you said it right. Yeah.
Okay, so that was it. Anyways, what?
Nothing.
Joel, do you enjoy this? Do you enjoy this podcast?
I enjoy this podcast. Yeah. Yes.
Are you happy we started it?
Yes. Very.
And the feedback from your friends and family and everything?
I mean, I don't get a lot of. I mean, I enjoy it when I get feedback from people that I really don't know, or somebody says something, positive feedback. So yeah.
You're not getting feedback from your friends and family?
I mean, in the beginning I was. Now it's just. I mean, because friends and family that aren't hunters, they may have watched the first couple episodes, but they're not.
They're not
If they're not
following it.
hunters, they're not watching
Yeah.
them or listening to them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're like driving somewhere or something, they may, but I don't know.
Right. I'll have to ask like my mom and dad if they still, because I know like the first 3 episodes they put it like on the TV and like
Now my dad, my dad does, and what's really cool is when we, we were at country concert last week, and we didn't get one dropped, and people were asking me, so that's really cool that people are asking me.
I had 2 people. One was your friend. Asked me if I was the guy from the podcast, and then I had a random guy ask me if I was the guy on the podcast they saw on his clips. And then my, Isaac and Adam and Dalton were all just kind of, like once they kind of got loosened up and stuff, we're like, by the way, we see your stuff like all the time online.
I did hear Dalton say that.
Like a
now,
lot.
I no doubt whenever I would walk out, go to the bathroom or whatever, and I saw people with like mossy oak shorts and a deer tattoo on their side or whatever, and then I would see him tap his friend and say something as I would walk by.
I mean, because I think it's probably more localized right now, but I mean the comments and stuff are coming from like Alabama, Tennessee. We're getting comments from Florida. We're getting comments from Iowa.
I worry about that sort of stuff a lot because, as far as the people that hunt with me from the Carolinas and the Alabamas and the, because a lot of the stuff we talk about is Midwestern and cornfields and bean fields. And for sure, maybe people that, their deer eat pine cones and, don't have anything.
But
I guess what I'm saying is maybe our techniques and everything we talk about might not pertain, a lot to their particular type of hunting.
You don't think they can take it? A food source is a food source.
A food source is a food source. Yes, I mean that's all they're trying to do. Where you got nothing but timber and timber and timber. You're trying to get some sort of a destination areas and some sort of, and doe bedding is doe bedding, where the does are bedding and does are bedding. But so whenever I was down there, moved my daughter to Mississippi and stopped by my dad's. So that was July 1st. Yeah, I went July 1st.
Yep.
And in Alabama, where my dad lives and everything, I'm not sure of the county, near Coleman, Alabama, and their does had not dropped or were just starting to drop.
Oh, really? So because they're so much, their rut's like December,
there
right?
must be like the end of December rut or whatever. My cousin who lived there said his season would almost go out before the rut, before it was kicking.
Made sense.
And stuff. So, so their fawns were just dropping.
I think that, and I'll also tell you another statistic I heard today, and you can look this up and confirm it because I also looked it up, that only 5% of every hunter will ever kill a deer, and that's in the United States. 5% of every deer hunter will ever kill a deer above 125 inches.
Oh, that's 100% true.
And I kind of I think we take that for granted a little bit. We got Mr.
10,
whatever, and
10% kill 90%.
10% kill 90%. 10% kill 90%.
So 10% of the hunters kill 90% of the big.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Kill 90% of the big deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably all location based, right? Or do you think it's a little bit of location and a lot of skill?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. It's got to be a little bit of both.
People that just, that 10% are also people that probably put a lot into it, and
Yeah.
And
because I don't. I mean, as of a few 2 years, I don't kill anything below 140, 150.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just not, I take videos of them and
But and another big thing that has changed, in the entire United States is accessibility. I mean, the leasing and
right.
the just accessibility. I mean, but we talked about that. If you want to put the effort in, I'm sure you can. Yeah.
I think if you
But
want to put it,
accessibility has changed.
yeah, I think you have to get creative on accessibility.
Yeah.
I know I got we posted a video and I was talking about that and people were just absolutely derailing me on the internet for that. And I guess my point behind that is you have to get creative on accessibility, right?
Yeah.
If you want to put in the effort and you want to sell the idea or you want to get a little
So
creative, you can get it.
So a little place that I hunted, that I got permission for last year because I had seen a big deer and I hunted, and I actually dropped off, gave them a bunch of. They love meat and they love the deer meat and they love the summer sausage and the sticks and everything, and I actually text him today and asked him how his inventory and stock was, and he says, "Funny, we are all out if you want to know the truth." So I'm gonna go drop off a bunch more stuff out of my
Yeah.
inventory for them, and that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Versus, and I also asked whenever I am on his land, I saw that that there are mole pop-ups everywhere. And I said, and then were two things I said. I said about the deer meat, and he says, come kill these damn moles too. So, yeah. So
How
there
do you
go.
kill the moles?
Huh?
How do you kill the moles?
I mean, when you live on 10 acres and I got moles everywhere, I've got mole traps.
Mole traps.
Yeah, just mole traps.
I thought actually what you had said in an earlier episode about just running cameras, like just to get an inventory on the property. I think that even if you shared the pictures,
someone would just let you put up a camera.
Yeah,
someone would let you put up a camera, and if
make them feel a part. That's the
if
sales.
you make them feel a part of it. So
That's exactly right.
I have gotten bitten in the ass by sharing pictures with my landowners. I think then it was used as leverage against me, and I got outbid because of this and that or whatever.
How often? That's
that
a
doesn't
negative.
happen very often.
That's a negative side of the story,
That's
right?
the negative. That's the negative
That's
side of
the
the story.
10 to 20%.
Yes, but for the most part, whenever I share pictures, velvet pictures, this, that, and everything, they enjoy the crap out of that.
I think they feel like they're a part of it, and they feel like you're putting.
I mean, now I have landowners going and putting out all these mineral sites and shit and everything, and then I got my hunters are getting busted. The deer going to their mineral site or walking downwind of us a stand. I'm like, Gary, you can't be putting that mineral. If you would quit putting that salt block out there right now.
Yeah. So I want to hear I want to start a new segment on vulnerable, and I want to call it I don't know, story time with Joel Snow. I feel like we could come up with something a little bit better than that, but the deer we've had it for a couple episodes, one being with Travis, which I feel bad that I didn't get to talk to Travis as much as I wanted to when he showed up. Did you get to talk to Travis much?
I mean, a little bit, but he didn't hang out a lot. But it was like he was there for a little while and then he was gone. I figured he would be across the road or something, but he wasn't.
I don't know really where. I don't think he didn't stay or anything. I don't know where he went. But the deer above you, I think you've kind of briefly told Chris and I this story, and I kind of want to hear.
So
this
I
story.
don't think that we really even thought about this, but it was killed the same year.
This guy
shot these the same year. The same year. That's the customer who I touched base with today. He's probably hunted with me for 20 some years. Good friend. We've gone on a couple big hunts together. And he killed 200s out of the same tree.
Hunting with you.
Yep, 4 years apart, I think. And so but
what did that guy? What's this guy score over?
211.
Jesus.
211. Yep. And so at that time, I would
Real quick, what did the other one? What did the other 200-inch buck score that he killed?
I think he killed. I think 204 or 205, something like that. This other deer he killed is on a video out there somewhere because I was sitting and filming Craig Morgan, and we had an encounter with him.
Oh,
The other 200.
Okay. You had seen him in the field or something. You filmed him before he
got killed.
Before he got killed.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
before he got killed.
So you have a client that killed a 204
and a 211
out of the
same
same
tree. Same tree. Yeah, same tree. Yeah.
And that was all just, I mean, that was just
Coincidence.
I mean, he didn't like give you a hand job or anything, you know.
That one we after the fact, but, but so that one, so this property, I got to be where I got a little more and a little more. It was basically an older fella, and a lot of his friends had died, and you know, because a bunch of group used to hunt it and everything. And it got to be where I could hunt it for this little bit, and then this little bit, and then it got to be a little more and a little more. And you know, at the time, it was kind of just probably, I think it was just me hanging most of the stands because this was kind of before Tim, and I had walked the property and knew the property on that deer, and my friend, it was like we were going to make a move from one spot to another. So it was 1 or 1:30, and I went in and got him, and I had a stand and sticks, and I was carrying them, and I said, "Come on, I know right where we're going." And we walked up this ditch, this steep ditch, so we had good access and good. So we went, and then pretty much right at the top of this ditch was kind of was doe bedding and kind of a crossover point between two ditches. And I walked in with him. He stood there. I hung. He got in, and I think killed at 4:30.
That's unbelievable.
So we hung it at 1:30, killed a 211 in 3 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then I'm not sure I'm pretty sure this was after. So there was a big CRP field at the time, lots of CRP around here because, you know, at the time the CRP was getting just as much money per acre as what the crops were, especially if it wasn't real good farm ground. So just, you know, we've talked about the CRP. I really like the CRP.
Yeah.
I mean, you think that food, but you know, they can go eat off of you, but they're going to be on you with that CRP and walk around comfortably. And I really like the CRP.
You know what I heard about? I don't mean to jump in on the story, but like I heard that the government is bringing.
So Tim, with Whitetail Properties, and he said, "Hey, we're there." I think it just happened in June. It might be over with. I don't know, but they were upping the money on CRP and everything.
They were making it kind of aggressive.
Yeah,
and
trying to be competitive.
There's other programs out there. I know that I have a friend that signed up, and he bought land, and they gave him one lump sum. So he bought the property, and they gave him one lump sum that almost paid for the 100-acre property. But then he has to pay the taxes for the next, you know, whatever.
So if he sells it, he has to pay that recoupment.
Yeah,
or whatever.
That's right. But they made it worth his while to.
Wow, that's awesome.
You know, so I think there's a few different programs out there.
That's awesome.
But anyways, go ahead.
So I had there was actually on a neighboring farm. So I had back-to-back farms on a neighboring farm. This was back in the. I don't know how many people I took. There wasn't very many people here hunting at that time, and they were from Maryland, I believe, and they had hunted with me for a few years. And the one guy, Anthony, he was a truck driver, and I think he slept in the tree a lot. He would tell you that he slept in the tree a lot. He said, Anthony was from West Virginia. So
On a hang-on?
the main hunter was from Maryland, and this was his friend or his cousin from West Virginia, and his name was Cuz. Cuz was a truck driver, and he was said, quite honestly, Joe, I sleep about every 50 minutes out of the hour. I mean, he told me that. So Cuz was awake at the right time. He said, this field over here, there is a telephone pole out in the middle of it, and he said this big deer just bedded, somewhere out near this telephone pole. He's telling me this. So I had his cousin, Gary, was in the truck with me. And I think I had my stuff. I think I had my bag and my bow. And I told, and it was, kind of the perfect storm. It may have been 15, 20 mile an hour wind. It was a little breezy. And I pulled up, kind of told Gary where this deer was. And Gary just kind of looked at me like, hey, no way in hell, or, the chances of that or whatever.
Yeah.
So he says,
he's not going to make it happen.
He's not going to go for it. He said, I think you need to go for it. So I grabbed my bow and binocs and rangefinder, and off I went. And so I head out across the CRP field, a couple hundred yards.
Could you see him from the truck?
No.
You couldn't see him
No,
bedded
couldn't
down?
see nothing.
Okay.
Nope.
You saw the telephone pole.
And Anthony said this telephone pole. And so I get out there, and the wind's blowing, and I am roughly, I don't know, I'm getting to be 70, 80 yards from the telephone pole. And I'm down on both knees, glassing the CRP, and nothing. And then I go maybe another 15, 20 yards on both knees, glassing real hard, and I see a twitch. And it was the doe's ear. So I now see the doe. I now see her twitch her ear, and I can see her snout. So then I start looking, and with the way she's turned, I figured he's probably on this side, or he's going to be probably laying on the downwind side, because he wants to smell her.
Yeah.
He wants to smell her.
So I didn't know that. I mean, he wants to.
So if the doe's bedded, and he will be laying downwind of her.
How far?
Yeah, I mean,
5, 10,
if he can
15?
smell her, he might be a little ways from her, but he will lay downwind of her.
What's a little ways? I mean, I'm not asking for exact. I mean, what's little ways?
10, 15, 20 yards.
Okay,
He might not be right on top of her,
Okay.
but as long as he can smell her, he might be a little bit from her.
Yeah.
And so
it's kind of like
they also take them. They try and get away from everybody else.
Yep.
So he's basically in the middle of this CRP field, away from everybody, and her scent's blowing out towards the road. None of his competitors are smelling her or nothing. So they're perfect storm. Well, other than he didn't think about me though. So now I am looking, and I see that.
Yep.
I see that.
Yep.
So, and I didn't even range it. I kind of guessed he's 30 to 35 yards. And so not really sure what the plan was, whether it was going to wait him out, but I didn't. I went to full draw, and I snort wheezed. Do I need to do a?
Yeah.
please.
No, I don't know. Do you know how to? I mean, did you have a snort wheeze call?
No.
So you did it by mouth.
Just like that. I snort wheezed.
Do it one more time. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
And then I saw the rat go like that.
He's pissed off.
He's like, he heard it. So then I snort wheezed again, and he proceeds to stand up in his bed and
shot him at 35 yards.
I smoked him at 35 yards.
How far did he go?
I think it was 200 yards, 250 yards.
So my question is, is like Cuz sitting in the tree, like watching the whole thing?
Cuz is still on the neighboring farm, and he is now I can see his arms up in the air, and it actually ran right his direction.
Did it fall down in front of him?
No, it did not.
Okay.
No, it did
So
not.
he knew that you hit him. He watched the whole thing
Yeah,
happen.
he watched the whole thing happen.
So then
and
you got
everything.
Gary in the truck.
Gary's in the truck.
Did he get to see any of this?
We then backed out and went later and everything. Nope, Gary couldn't see any of this.
He couldn't see any of it.
No.
Gotcha.
Nope. So
that's a pretty awesome story.
Yeah. And the cool thing is so both that deer's beams are like 31 and one's 32. They're both in the 30s.
Okay.
And this deer's beams are both in the 30s. They are both like 30 and 5/8 and 30 and 4/8, something like that. So yeah.
What did that one score roughly?
173, 174, something like that. Yep. So that's a pretty cool.
That's a pretty awesome
on
story.
the ground during the rut.
Got it done.
Yeah, got it done. Yeah. Yep. So pretty cool.
No, I love that. That's fantastic. So my next question is, we go over there to pull out the Wi-Fi or the Starlink.
Yeah.
And there's a whole pile of deer. And Chris has never seen, he's never went over there because that's always my job to pull it out. And
that was all of these that we took down when we set up shop here.
Was it?
Yes.
They were all right through here?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that from the very beginning?
No.
So are those, whose are those?
A couple are my kids and the rest are all mine.
Yeah. I told.
Walk into the barn or walk into the garage, and I'm like, cool, just a mountain of mounts just chilling there. Like, that's awesome.
Joel, Chris has never seen it. He goes, so, like, are those Joels in there? And I go, most of them. And he goes, so are, like, these Joels in here? And I said, I think most of them. Whole file of deer mounts laying.
And I thought Cory's attic looked bad.
Yeah.
Like,
No, Cory's attic doesn't look anything like what we're sitting in. No, there's not even a comparison.
That was yeah. I forgot there was a pile of
deer. Yeah, he gives me shit for putting mine in the attic, and then he just goes and looks like old Lincoln logs in there of deer heads. He's making a mound of them.
Well,
so,
we had to set up shop somewhere.
I guess I didn't remember that. So I want to start doing, hopefully everybody, because I think every story brings a different, like,
it does.
a level of either dedication or training or understanding, and I know we're not going to go into this story. I don't want to go into this story because whomever we want to bring, we want to bring Ron, and we want him to sit down and tell that, because I'm sure he's going to talk about watching you do your thing through the valley, and
Ron's going to have story because Ron lives in Springbury, Ohio, which not real far away. So if Ron doesn't tag out, there's lots of times in January I've invited him back up. I might have one dialed in late season or whatever, and he can tell some good stories about. I pretty much like dug a coffin. Like I had standing corn with this monster, and I dug a hole and covered it with snow, and Ron's like in the coffin.
The hole.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And we were close. We were very close. We didn't get him killed, but we were close. I think Ron had to piss real bad, laying in the coffin that night, and yeah.
So I've always wondered that, and I've always kind of said that, like, if you have a situation where you can dig a hole,
and Ron was not compound hunting out of that hole. I mean, Ron was shooting a crossbow.
Well, I was going to ask, I've gotten into those situations where, like, the property I hunt, it's got like a lot of this going on. And if you got to make a movement, I've thought about, instead of going in the ground, I've thought about digging it. I mean, is that stupid to say? I
did it.
Yeah, you've done it.
I did it.
I mean, I know it's not ideal, but
because this was just we just went down. We'll start back up here.
Yep, that's part of so this episode specifically is, I mean, I don't know. I've watched, I have to listen to our episodes, and I hate listening to myself talk and you talk, and not you talk, but like, I just hate re-listening. And I think that I'm going to make a statement. I think there's podcast Cory and Joel, and I think there's real Cory and Joel. And I don't think that we're showing real Cory and Joel. And it's bothering me. It's been bothering me for a while. So I don't know. I mean,
I thought we've done good here this last.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Part.
Like this episode. Well, I think this episode. I think this episode has shown. Like, I mean, what I want. This.
I mean, it's hard to be podcast Joel and Cory when we have Gary. When you have guests and everything, it's kind of.
I mean, no,
hard.
I don't think so. I think.
Yeah,
I think it is. But
is.
like, I think like you and I think you and I.
It's hard to get jacked up when you're just sitting listening to one person talk for 30 minutes or whatever.
Right. But I mean, but people want to see guests.
I know.
They want to see guests. I mean, they don't want to.
That's why I think it'll be, some of my good customers and just some of their deer and their stories and what they think about hunting here. And
I
everything.
think my grandma Betty, when she talked about like what we're doing right now is only a prerequisite to the hunting season and to what that's going to look like, she's spot on. I mean, everything we're doing right now is practice.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. When you have...
We're just honing skills.
Yeah, when you have your hunters in here and we're like, if we have whatever setup or whatever we're doing or however we do that, that is when things are going to flow up and torpedo because,
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're going to say shit that's going to be, it's going to be fun. It's going to be real. It's going to be like, I'm going to be like, because, they're going to say a story that you probably don't even remember something or something funny that happened or something you did, and they're going to love it. And what's memorable to you is not memorable to them.
Correct.
And opposite and vice versa.
Correct. Yeah.
Anyways.
They are, as it reaches this middle of July, they all start getting a little itchy. Like I'll start getting the ask for pictures and the skankarellas ask for passwords to the cameras today, and so
Joel called it horn porn. I had never heard that term. Horn porn. I had never heard the term horn porn. I was like, "What are you doing on your phone?" We were country concert. He's like, "I'm looking at horn porn." And you're checking
That's the first thing I do every morning. Find a cup of coffee, horn porn. Take a shit, horn porn. Yes.
Cup of coffee, horn porn, take a shit, horn porn. I like that.
It's not all in that order. Sometimes I might smell the coffee and then it's the shit horn porn before I even drink coffee.
How many cameras are you running right now?
I mean, I don't have, there's probably 30-some cell cams out or
30-some
like
cell
that.
cams.
Yeah. And then, some card cameras here and there. I'm going to start, since we're doing this and everything, and if we start posting some little clips, I'm going to try and get out some with a spotting scope and a phone scope mount on the back and start getting some footage and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. Because
just you got a mineral site don't mean they're.
So I know that I don't think you're into like naming deer.
No, I've never been a real big deer namer.
I haven't either.
I mean, if it's like,
like something.
If it's a one you're after, but no.
When I've taken him out or my other cousin, I always try to give them like names because when I'm texting back and forth, I'll be like, hey,
you see goalpost.
The Big 8 showed up or, Tiny showed up or because you're trying to communicate. I almost wondered like if you should name the deer and like we should highlight 5 deer and then see if they get killed. Like kind of build a story around them and then see if they get killed.
I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
If they're worthy of a name and they don't leave my property, they're going to die.
Well, I get that. I know. I'm just saying, like, you see what I'm saying? Like something you can...
Or get wounded or, somebody's going to shoot them.
Because I think in your head, the hunter comes in, the client comes in, they kill, okay? And then you tell them kind of what you did to make it happen. There's a photo, and then it's over. Yeah. But really, there's so much more to that story.
Nobody knows the whole...
There's so much more to that story on how you strategically moved or did whatever and dialed in, honed in, and then you put them in there, right?
You can put bets on it.
Yeah.
Because
on which one's lasting.
Yeah, there you go. One eye's going to make it all the way. If I bump this one more time, one eye, I think You know, that's kind of like that's the one I'm invested in. I want to know if
I
like,
may be hunting one eye.
will you?
I mean, my friend's going to be building a house there come October.
Gotcha.
So it's a very short
Is
window.
Is that where One Eye's at?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Right where he's building his house.
It might be a very short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said he's very slow, and he said he's very. He told me that he's like, I'm very slow and patient. So maybe the house will take a little longer or something. But
because crops, they're
Yeah.
not gonna ruin a bunch of crops and everything. So
right, exactly.
yeah, so they're gonna be living in a fifth wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, living in a fifth wheel.
What's that? Home.
Home. Yeah, home. But it's yeah, I kind of like that naming thing.
Yeah, I think
pick a couple out
the ones that are worthy of it and the ones that might get it done. I mean, you're not going to get it done on every one. Maybe you are. I don't know, but like it would be cool to hear the whole scheme, the whole idea, the whole what you
because
did.
there's if there's a named deer, there's different. You're attempting throughout. There's different people attempting to kill him. You just tippy toe in with this people, these people. Multiple people is trying to kill him throughout the year.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But,
It's not.
But eventually, you hopefully, you make the right move at the right time in the chess game, and one of them gets them.
Yeah. Is it the people that hunt with you and like when you're hunting after a deer like that, how much of their intel matters? Like if they're giving you intel and they're telling you things.
That just reminded me of something from today.
Go ahead.
So there is a stand on the farm I'm working on right now, and I'll do a clip with it when I'm out and about. But I probably had four different sits with bucks cruising at 70. With bucks, so I had just hung it. This was the first year; it was a new sit, and I had 4 different cruisers throughout the year, and they were all at 70.
So you're making adjustments.
So I will make an adjustment with that stand.
So I mean, everything your clients are telling you.
So I listen to everything. Yeah. I listen to the intel.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I mean, it's usually spot on. I mean, if somebody else tells you the same thing and then a week later somebody else tells you the same thing, you're just a little bit off the mark. I'm in the right spot, but you're just a little off the mark.
Has anybody ever told you something and you're like, I mean, does anybody ever give you bad intel? I mean, is there ever intel that you're just like, I don't believe you?
Yeah, there might be stuff that I don't pay no attention to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's things that come in and they just...
I mean, you know me. I might act like it's important, but then I just file that shit away.
Yeah, sometimes he does that to me.
File 13.
sometimes I'm telling something to Joel and I'm like, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, you might just go to the recycle center.
I did want to ask one more question before we wrap this episode up. At the very beginning, we were talking about, the hog panels. We were talking about really everybody needs to use hog panels as kind of
it's my fencing.
Yeah,
I'm
you're trying
fencing.
to push deer really where you want them. You're trying to kind of somewhat control them, right? I think that's fantastic.
So, I have friends that have their own, friend in Illinois, and he takes care of all their property, and they own all their farm ground. They will hard turn plow their ground under. So if you don't want the deer here, they will plow all this under.
Really?
And yes. So they will direct deer by plowing under.
Like literally making it to where they can't walk? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, there's no food out there.
There's nothing.
And a deer really don't want to walk across the plowed field.
They're taking everything away.
Yeah, so they will plow it under, and they want them on this food.
Yeah.
They want them on this food.
I mean, it's plowing it under, cutting trees down, the hog fence. It's anything. It's just kind of deviating where you want deer to go. Right?
A pond in the right place.
Yep. You can control.
A feeder that we're not hunting over, but a feeder where I am plopping 10 or 12 does that will be near it all the time.
So that was my question. You were talking about, you had shown me a video where you had a food plot, you had a permanent blind, and then I think you had put a feeder somewhere deep in the woods for a
So
reason.
here's the 80 acre thicket that is just, basically
Untouched.
all the bucks are in there untouched.
You don't touch it.
No, don't go in there. And then, then on the other side is still thick, but maybe only 20 acres or 30 acres. And then there I will have the feeder that, it's a 300 pounder. I mark it on my calendar. It lasts about 6 days. 6 days.
Yeah.
Every 6 days I'm filling at 300 pounds. That's how, and it's empty. And then so between the deer that are around it and the deer that are, it's just nonstop traffic because of that thing,
And
So
go ahead.
So
Sorry.
then the fencing is then, we kill out of this blind, couple of good ones every year. So just trying to make it that it's even more productive or whatever.
But I still don't understand the feeder. Why are you putting the feeder away from the food plot? Why are you putting the feeder into the woods?
Because we're not trying to hunt
the feeder.
the feeder.